In this Story to Art episode, we're combining a few assorted ingredients, a handful of mystery word prompts, a collection of collage papers, a bit of asemic writing, and some stained glass doily making. So stick around to see how this art recipe turns out. Part 1. Finding my art story. Every picture tells a story, and this one's got wild dancing women, fish hats, and absolutely zero apologies. Or the story of Appletopia orchards, where you can go to find your happily ever apple. Or perhaps an art story that's never been told. So what will our art story be about today? So here we have our mystery word prompts for the day. Let's see what we've got here. Okay, we have person is Rowan, the location is a library, the object is a quill, color is chartreuse, use multicolored collage papers plus text from old books as a background. Once it's dry, glaze with chartreuse. Then add any color paints, pens, etc. Okay, I'm going to go gather some materials and be back in a minute. So I start the clock at 60 minutes. So this is a 1-hour challenge. Anyway, we've got our spray bottle, our Liquitex matte medium for glue, and we're going to cut up some old dictionary papers to use on the background on the wall of our artwork here. So anyway, just cutting these up and gluing them down. One of the main things when doing collage is to use plenty of glue. And don't be stingy with it. You want to coat the tops with the glue and the matte medium. And then here I'm going to turn over some edges to the back. And then, okay, now time to let this all dry until okay, here we go. Starting the clock again at 54 minutes. And I'm going to start some what's called asemic writing. So I have a couple of off-whites here that I'm coating, that I'm applying to my gel plate, the roller. And now I'm taking a pencil and I'm just writing. It's asemic writing is writing that doesn't particularly make any sense. For some reason, when I do asemic writing, you can do it in any direction you want to do it in. I always go in this up and down thing. Anyway, here's a piece of brown paper because I want it to look like brown ink. So you'll see when I pull it off that the brown shows underneath. I'm going to apply another piece of blue paper because I still have quite a bit of paint left on my plate, and now I have a paper with blue writing in the background. So one more piece, and so I'll have some backups here. Nice. I'm starting the clock here at 51 minutes and 3 seconds, and I'm going to show you how I make a stained glass window with this doily making technique. Just fold it up and then start cutting some angles, which will be the openings where the stained glass will shine through. So we start unfolding this here, and yeah, it's finished. It's a little bit large for my piece, but so I'm going to have to cut it down, but we'll see where it goes from here. Okay, I've gathered a few more materials here. Some collage papers, and I picked them out, special ones in greens and blues, and here's my asemic writing. And let's see, I'm going to do a little bit of sketching on here just so I have an idea of where I'm going with my art story and my composition here. So I'm making a scroll, and I've decided that this is an exhibit in an art museum. So I'm making a scroll here to decorate the wall. This is the library part of the art exhibit. But I have a story here that's forming, and I got the idea for this from something that I recently heard about old Victorian books and how the green covers on these books contain arsenic. They were made from copper arsenic, and they were toxic, and they are toxic today. And people who work in old books know that they should be wearing gloves if they're handling books that have green covers. So if you're handling a lot of old green covered books, you could get arsenic into your system through your hands if you're not wearing gloves, and also the arsenic could crumble away from the books and be in the air. So, there's some precautions you need to take if you are handling a lot of old green books and also old wallpaper at that time. So I brought in these green covered books and some other little details, which I'll share with you at the end about this toxic art exhibit that I'm creating. Here I'm adding some white over this lettering. It was just a bit much, a little bit too busy, but I'm letting a little bit of it show through. And I'm going to add some of the green glaze. Thankfully not toxic, but I do wear gloves though whenever I'm using my paints, because there are pigments. Some of the pigments do have some toxic elements in them, such as the cadmium reds and yellows. So you don't want to be exposed to anything unnecessarily. But anyway, this is my stained glass window above here, and I'm filling in the little white paint, putting a little stem on the feather pen here, which will be the quill pen in my story. And now it just seems like I needed something there in the center, and I've always heard that when you're doing a piece of artwork, you should use a variety of shapes. If you're using a lot of angles, then use some circles, and it adds to the interest of the art. So I'm making something circular in the middle. It's either a globe or a medallion or something, but okay, I've got 17 minutes left, so I don't have much time left to finish this painting. 17 minutes and 19 seconds, so I better go quick. All right, I'm adding a little bit of, this is Posca pen. It's an acrylic pen, and just adding some more stained glass to it. And actually, I think instead of cutting this stained glass like I did, I will just start with a piece of gray metallic paper and draw the stained glass onto it instead of making the doily. It just wasn't really necessary. So I'm decorating the spines of the books now, putting a little of that arsenic green on there. I love the spines of old book covers. Cutting out another little decoration for a book. Spine here. All right, and then the crayons I were using they're water-soluble crayons, so if I add the matte medium on top of those, it will seal them, so it won't rub off like other types of oil pastels do. So I really like the water-based pastels. So putting a little writing on the edge of the book. It's fun to decorate books. I would like to have been able to spend more time here, but I am on the clock. It looks like I only have 11 minutes and 35 seconds left. These are pigment pencils. They are ink tints, they're called. Derwent ink tints pencils. And what I do is I color those pencils in, and then I activate them with my acrylic matte medium, and that makes them permanent, makes the pigments in them permanent. So I'm adding a little quill to the end of my feather pen here, and then I had the idea that I need to darken up the table to make this, I don't know, to add some interest, I guess. A little bit too dark here. I'm gonna have to lighten it up just a little bit, add some more green. See, if I had more time, I'd be doing it a little differently, but I'll have to hurry up here because I don't have much time left. It looks like about 6 minutes. Okay, I'm making this copper medallion. I would have liked to put a face or something on it, but I don't have time for that, so I'm just going to make it as interesting as I can. Maybe a bit of some kind of design on there. Yeah, I'm going to take the end of my paintbrush and just scrape some design into that medallion. See where it goes. I'll be running out of film here in just a minute, and then I'll show you my final. So here we go. We have 5 minutes and 15 seconds left on the clock. So here we have it at the 1 hour mark. Well, almost at the 1 hour mark. True confessions, I had a bit of copper paint left and I didn't want to waste it, so I put it around the edge, and that probably took me an extra 5 minutes. So I guess on to my story. Rowan snapped on his disposable gloves before stacking several Victorian-era arsenic-laced books. The title of this month's museum exhibit was Arsenic and Old Lace. That lovely green pigment containing copper arsenic drew crowds to exhibits like this, a pigment used in the days of yore for everything from book covers to wallpaper to children's toys. A feather quill pen was also included in the exhibit as a nod to the old feather hats and garments also treated with arsenic. The paper scroll contained arsenic ink. The leaded glass contained not only lead in its channel, but arsenic in its glass. And the center stage, copper arsenic medallion, was another reminder of the days when these dangers were unknown. It made Rowan think about all the toxins in our modern environment that we are aware of, but choose to ignore. Is it denial, or the wanting, perhaps? So, that was my cheery little art story for the week. This was an interesting little project. I mean, it's not the greatest piece of art I've ever made, but it's got a few elements in it that I might pull into some pieces in the future. So, you know, it's all about learning, and yeah, it was fun. And now for Katherine's art story. Queen Rowan is shown on her royal coat of arms bearing the sword of knowledge and the scale of balance and justice. She ruled Wales in the 10th century CE. She is a descendant of the founders of the oldest existing library in the world. Her legacy is to continue the flourishing of knowledge by expanding libraries and not human conflicts. This sounded like a true historical story, so I asked Katherine if it was. She said it was not, but I wanted it to be because the idea of a library of knowledge given in exchange for a world of conflict is something worth striving for. So I suppose a story that touches the heart, whether true or not, is one worth telling. So stick around because we have many more art stories to tell.